Welcome back to NeeliPade, Panenka FC. This time we have two new guys. Tejas been there, but again it's been a long time. Tejas is back, and we have Shaggy Sagar. Thank you very much for joining. And Tejas, welcome back, Shaggy. First time on NeeliPade and Panenka. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Panenka.
So maybe thanks to you guys, this has been such a great podcast to watch because we need to talk about from certain angles from here as well, from Karnataka football, about things which are which are not visible in my opinion, especially now that Karnataka football is becoming more and more visible with the players starting to shine in the national arena. It's a matter of time that because some of them will play international. I think probably we should see some of the Karnataka footballers go, into start moving out. Hopefully, men's or
Yeah.
women's both can happen anytime. So it's a good thing that we have started all of this to get this awareness. So thumbs up to you guys.
Thank you, thank you. And before I move forward, I just want to tell, Sagar is the guy who is actually handling and rigorously following and posting everything about women's football on that women's footy page. Hopefully, many of you are following. If not, please do follow that. You will get all the information from Manipur League, Karnataka League, International, even the Asian, African Championship as well as in the what is that, European and everything. So, if you are interested in football and women's football, that is the place you have to be, and you get everything. Like, I have been following him for longest time, and it's really very good. Like, there is somebody who is actually getting everything under one page and informing you. It is actually very good to have it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that as well. So
So
Tejas is back. Tejas, thank you, join agadke. So yeah, we will get into it. Okay, so first thing, we have this women's under 20 Asian qualifiers again. Just like as I always say, like, whenever there is a Asian Cup qualifiers, only then youth football teams newsers are out, and they get the friendlies, they get the matches to play, they get the what is that, camps to go and train. Only then it happens. Otherwise, there is no news at all. For example, now you take under 16, under 8, under 19. No news at all. Thankfully, there is a Asian Cup qualifiers. Now we have some news about women's under 23 and everything. So
Right.
I'll just
So
put up the
yeah,
squad here. So yeah, Tejas, I'll come to you. First thing, what do you feel about this squad? And also, we have this coach, Jakim. Like, he's been doing really pretty well. We played Uzbekistan recently. So what do you think about this under 20 team, women's team?
so basically, first of all, just getting the draw part, right? So we got a pretty easy draw in the sense we got Myanmar from pot one and two relatively easier sides. And let's get back to it. So we haven't qualified in around 18 years. Let's say under 20. Maybe before it was direct qualification that we selected the teams and stuff. So this is a genuine, very good opportunity. I mean, I think we are the favorites to qualify from this group. Basically, also check the Asian under 18 or under 19 women's that happened. Myanmar were like comfortably beaten by Thailand and Vietnam. I think we are on that level. So I think we should be qualifying to this. And as you said, I think we still missed staff under 18. We could have played Bangladesh and Nepal as well 2 to 4 times. But it's fine. I think maybe not playing staff is also a confidence booster by winning against Uzbekistan. So I have hope. I think we are going to qualify. So that's the point.
True. And Shaggy, at least coming to the women's football, no, we have kind of a rise in this youth football. Coming to women's youth football,
right.
what do you think of these girls? Like, lot of those. If you remember, one of that under 17 World Cup, which is supposed to happen in India, it was cancelled due to unforeseen situations during that pandemic time. And from that squad, couple of girls have went out, and now they are playing in European leagues. So I'm just giving you an example about what's happening with that whole of the women's youth football and everything. So what do you think about this? Like, kind of a rise or a spike that we are seeing in the women's youth football and interest as well. Like, I can definitely say that IWL is definitely making an impact with relegation, promotion, and also little bit of a longer time period league. So how hopeful are you about these under 20 girls?
So I'll start a little back because when we are taking the 2022 as a baseline, right? The big point that happened in the baseline was a lot of women players started getting exposed. Okay, like the whole point is them getting exposed and them learning from that curve. So the learning curve for women changed from post 2022. I think the IWL being a home and away format and those players started featuring very young players started featuring in IWL teams. I think there the
Yes.
transition happened where they started training with the senior women's team. So this whole point, right, when they started training with the senior women's team, helped a big transition for the youngers. So if you remember that Denerbe is one of the most interesting contribution was to bring the women's junior and
Absolutely.
senior team together.
Yeah.
So they grew.
Right.
Okay, I feel the senior junior team benefited a lot. Like you can see how they took that opportunity and are now growing at a rapid pace. The current captain Shubhangi. Okay, Shubhangi's been the 2022 Under 17 World Cup, and her growth curve is amazing because she went from there, she went to Kickstart. I think she spent one season with Kickstart, and then she went to Gokulam. Okay, she came back from an injury. Okay, so she is the captain, but she look at her gameplay now. Okay, so over a period of 3 years. Okay, so I feel Neha. Look at Neha from Odisha. Okay, she's now actually got and amassed a very good amount of game time. So the confidence that we are seeing in these girls is coming from the game time that they have acquired in the past 2 years. And obviously now that these girls got how do I say it, more game time, they became like more seasoned, right? Like their confidence has
Yeah.
grown, and we are seeing that benefit when it comes to even now with the appointment of Coach Joachim, who has done actually what I echo Tejas. He's done a very good job, bringing up even further down. So you actually have a very good talent pool that's being pipelined now in India, though the game time eventually overall still remains a problem. So I feel this is something that has happened over the past 3 years, a little organically in terms of how why this clubbing now even today, if you talk about it, the junior under 20 team and the 90 team are both in Bangalore only. They are being trained in Bangalore only. So one is at Prakash
Yeah.
Padunukane Center and one is at the, so these teams are now at co-located at one place, and that's somehow helping the junior teams. So in our group, as Tejas has said, we have a reasonable competition. The competition format has changed this year. So in AFC under 20, earlier there were only 8 teams in 2 groups. Now there are 12 teams in 3 groups and best. Okay, so 8. So we have that advantage. Last time we did a very good job, but we lost on GD by one single GD to Vietnam. So the goal difference was one.
Yeah.
Rest of the results were thing. So last season was a heartbreak. Bangladesh was SAF was a big problem because last time there was a big crowd issue and we had to force a draw in Bangladesh. So the crowd went rowdy and there was like a penalty toss decided it. Then there was a joint owner. So I think somehow these kind of potential situations has led to this group being bounded together because they saw what the football would look like, going out and playing. So somehow that when you subject them to such amount of pressure, I feel the group cohesiveness increases, and we are seeing those starting shoots of why these girls have played in and out now in international competition. The same group is being represented everywhere. So good to see. Many of these are player in IWL teams, or at least are part of IWL two teams. Sulanjana is there, Sahina is there. They are all getting. Sibani is there. So you have a very seasoned people who are now part of professional setups as well as have been playing NT setup for some time. So I have a very high hopes now this time from AFC under 20.
Very true. And that part, no, like you allow these junior girls to train with senior girls, and both the coaching staffs are in the same place. So there is that continuation also. There is a continuity between juniors and seniors team. So there won't be a much problem for transitioning them into a senior team. And definitely, I don't know, like AFF always mess up things, and AFF doesn't do things as they should be. But coming to this part of at least this certain part, they are doing better. I feel that they are doing better. I don't know who is behind this, or whose like idea it is, or whatever it is, but somehow we need to give them this credit because they have been doing it pretty well. Like maybe I think, as you said, it is Denabri who actually made this path to follow it and everything. And that is a good thing always. And these girls who are still like 17, 18, these are training with the legends of the game of Indian women's football. That's always good, no? Like they learn more than just the game. It is not just the game or the technique or anything. They learn more than that. And international stage is not as easy as we even think. Like it's just too difficult. For example, our Odisha women's, they couldn't handle the Asian Championship. It was just we could able to see that difference, how huge difference it is. Yeah. So like you remember that Urva Reds were just banging
Oh,
right, left,
who
center.
can forget
So
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it is like that. So it's just a good thing, yeah, to that. At least we have one of the men's or women's. At least we have one of that is at least been sorted for right now. At least for now, it is kind of sorted at the national team, and we have good staff as well. There were a lot of questions about Crispin Chetri before the start of Asian Women's Cup qualifiers, but somehow he made everyone shut up their mouth, and that's a good thing. So coming to that, able to qualify on merit. That is, this is first time that we did on merit, right? Once we just
Yep.
did that because we were host, and that's something huge. Like it wasn't done before. So we can just remember we had Bala, we had all those legends who couldn't do that, but these girls with Crispin Chetri, who are like I think we were the youngest squad among that qualifiers, if I'm not
Yep.
wrong.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they are going to. It's right. It's like we somehow arrived there. We somehow did it on merit. That is something like all those longer camps and all those like making those this whole squad stay together. Everything worked out, I think. So Tejas, we right now have this what is that groups that is being drawn already. Asian Women's Cup
Sure.
2026 March ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. It will be in March, right? In Australia. So
Yeah. March.
first thing,
March.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ತೇಜಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆನಪಿತ್ತಾ ಲೈಕ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ನಾವು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಪಿನ್
Uh, no,
ಯಾವಾಗ ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ
basically,
ಯಾ
Crispin, I mean, not about Crispin, basically, women's national team performance over the last 7-8 years. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ when do we ever win a game that we are not even expected to win? Never really happens in Indian football. So that Thailand
ಯಾ
game was literally, I mean, I had zero hopes. Let me be frank. So
ಯಾ
but they had scored good number of goals. I mean, the goal scoring 13 goals even against lower ranked teams, that did give me some hope. I mean, they were playing some good brand of football. And it was fine, but the Thailand game, right? So it was surprising to many. I mean, even so many people got
ಯಾ
teary-eyed, Indian football fans and everyone. So yeah, coming to this, right? The possibly the best possible group. I mean, surely the best
ನಿಜ
possible group. People would say
ವೆರಿ
we
ಟ್ರೂ
would have North Korea instead of Japan, but that doesn't matter. So for us, only thing is
Very true.
qualifying to the quarterfinals. So imagine it like this. So we'll not play Japan in the quarterfinal or playoffs because they are in our own group if we finish second. So
ವೆರಿ
that's
ಟ್ರೂ
that's how good
ಎಸ್
it is. So basically from that point of time, realistically, before going to that, so let's say for the next Women's World Cup in Brazil, there are 6 direct slots for Asia and 2 playoffs. So basically, you have to be in the top 8 to go to Brazil, irrespective if you're going
ಯಾ
to qualify directly or the playoffs at least, right? So how do we qualify? There are 12 teams, right? So the top 2 teams from each of the 3 groups and 2 best third place teams qualify, right? So typically only one win is enough if you get the average of statistics and stuff, right? But one win and a draw is certainly enough for us. So if you think about other groups, there are 2 tough teams. So the third place teams in those groups will have lower GD or lower points and so on. So that is surely enough. So that's the first point. And say, I mean, I'm more happy about having to play Chinese Taipei and Vietnam than Nepal and Bangladesh at this point of time. So
ವೆರಿ ಟ್ರೂ ವೆರಿ ಟ್ರೂ ವೆರಿ
yeah,
ಟ್ರೂ
so I think we have a very genuine chance, and the fixtures are also good. We play Vietnam first, we play Japan next, which obviously we are not going to get a point out of it, and we play Chinese Taipei. Even if the first 2 matches we do not get anything, we still have hope in the final game. So we can do the Thailand that we did now and go to the next round. So that's the thing I am hoping for. This is a very good group. Nothing bad happened in the group stage draw for us. So yeah, happy from that point.
ಯಾ ಲೈಕ್ ನನಗೆ ನೆನಪಿದ್ರೆ ಈವನ್ ಏಷ್ಯನ್ ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈಯರ್ ಕೂಡ ವೆನ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ we were actually this happy. We were thinking that we will qualify for round 3. Somehow we will qualify for round 3 of World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that heartbreak! I can't come out. I can't. I just can't come out of that. So, being serious, this particular group, Vietnam and Chinese Taipei, possibly if we play to our best, somehow we don't mess up in the second half defensively, we definitely have a chance. Shaggy, what do you think? Like, we have this March 4th, 7th, and 10th, good amount of like rest days as well. So, what do you think? First game day 1, we have Vietnam, and how do you think like we should be approaching this?
See, okay, when we take Vietnam, right? So in Vietnam, Vietnam is all about their coach and players. Okay, top 2 players. Okay, one is coach Mark Chung, like who's a very old veteran. Okay, he's 73 years old. Okay, he has been guiding Vietnam for a long time, and here they have a new is there. Okay, she is like the Sunil Chetri of uh, Vietnam women's football. Okay, Pham is there. So these are the 2 strikers which we were not able to control last time around, and that's where we conceded. In our whole equation, right, in Indian, when we come as anti-duties, it's defending and especially second half defending. Okay, Indian teams have this Achilles heels of somehow leading in the first half and conceding equally badly in the second half. Okay,
Yes.
this was somehow luckily controlled during the Thailand match. It didn't come up because they missed a lot of good chances to level up the things. and that was a bad day for one of their key players, and because she hit the post. And if you remember that, when I was like, I don't worry about the first half in normally because somehow we are able, but our second half is something which we need to work on. It's been in progress.
Yeah.
I can see what Crispin is trying to do is removed all of the veteran defenders and he has put only runners. Like, the average young age has fallen, but if you look at the stamina levels, whatever happened in Bangalore training under RSF, Rapid Zone, has shown that growth, that they are actually doing a lot of physical activity. So I feel if it comes down to Vietnam, right, the most important thing is to know how to not concede. Take a result from this. The most important is we need result. Okay, because I feel if our opening day we don't get a result, right, then it will be a little bit of a downturn. So we can leave a lot of things for the later, but our opening day is very important that we get a result, we get a point. 3 points is dream come true, but one single point is definitely that we need to hold on to, because that one single point, if you look at the other group side, you have Uzbekistan and Bangladesh in a difficult group, so they are not going to play easy games. Okay, same way Iran is also in a difficult group, and along with I think Philippines and this case. So that's where you'll have to look across the board. The person who takes the first points, right, will start dropping the pressure on the other teams who are in the third place. So this is where that has to be the strategic thinking, that no matter what, try to get a point out of the first match, because we aren't landing Japan on the first side, right? So we don't have to worry about that. So
Yes.
that's the match day result. But in between, there has to be a lot of work, right? You have a window now, you have everything, and my worry is that the schedule that AIF is proposing looks very unrealistic to me. Because you're pushing a lot of AIFF things, you're pushing a lot of things that like IWL right in between, you're pushing a lot of how do I say it, friendly fixtures in between, and then you're talking about a camp. Okay, so
84 days.
I want to see, yeah. So I am a little, how do I say it? Okay, like at the end of the day, when I've come to 3 years of watching this game, women's game, it comes down to AFF plans something, something else gets implemented. Okay, so we have to watch that. Last year also we had the same problem. We planned a lot well, and then in the end, IWL got postponed. IWL 2 got postponed. So now you have, like, suddenly we are talking about a World Cup opportunity, and it comes down to the kind of things that we are seeing in the men's game. I don't want to say, but they want to somehow start featuring in the women's game also. Okay, and that's the bad
Yeah,
part
yeah,
also.
yeah.
So there is a lot of work before we talk about the first match in Vietnam versus India. I think that's where you will probably start seeing what the 6 months will probably churn out. The good part though is I feel India's under 20 has created a talent pool of around 50 players. Okay, so we have 50 players now ready who can take up an NT job roughly around. Okay, if you take that both the squads, so this is kind of unthinkable earlier that you had 50 players ready to be on NT duty. This is something which is a recent thing that has added. So I feel how to utilize this talent pool, and in my opinion, Coach Crispin does need help, professional help, to get over this. Nobody in Indian football has been into this situation, wherein we are at the cusp of something, and we need to know how to approach this whole World Cup. Otherwise, what we are going to do is we are going to not be able to extract the maximum out of this opportunity. That's the only point. So maybe they appoint some sort of a counselor or a helping hand for Coach Crispin to navigate through this whole earlier, at least this whole AFC Women's Asia Cup, because at the end of the day, that is something that is already being showcased as an Indian, for India's how do I say it, PR work in football, because we don't have that in men's, but we might actually get good result in women's in the Asia Cup because there is a lot of diaspora in Australia that can win. So if we invest rightly, take that 6 months of time to get a good counselor, get plan our fixtures, I am pretty much sure that we won't be bad. I mean, I as bad as, like, I always want, like, nothing to be like, in 2022 we were left shocked when we were when we were trying.
That
So that
that
was a
was
bad
heartbreak,
part.
man.
So yeah, yeah. So that somehow
That
has to
was heartbreak.
overcome with this positive thing. So this is very positive that in 1 year we have come back and we've gone from that dark days to this period of time. So now
Right,
credits to the
right.
players because they really perform. So this is a time and opportunity that before we do that Vietnam versus India, because that's an after effect, but there is a good amount of success where Indian football can shed its image of being how do I say it, more of how do you say, it's always reactive, right? We always react, we are
Yeah,
not
yeah,
planning.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now, so the reactive bit, you can, they can shed it away, but again, all up to how the football
Kalyan and team,
federation
yeah.
wants to handle, right?
And one more thing, for Kalyan has a great opportunity here, right? Like no other AFF president has ever done this. So just imagine the kind of PR he's going to get. Somehow he has to put it into his head, like, brother, you just understand. If we somehow make it, somehow what? some magic happens and we make it, you will be treated as legend forever. You understand? It can't be replaced, right? So and this is a great opportunity as well. Tejas, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ವಿಯೆಟ್ನಾಂ is somebody we can get results if possible. ಬಟ್ ಚೈನೀಸ್ ಟೈಪೇ ಈ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಗೇಮ್ ನಾವು ಜಪಾನ್ ಆಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾ, ನಾವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಜಪಾನ್ ಆಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಜಪಾನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಒಂದು 4-5 ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 4-5 ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಜಿಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಮ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಡೇ 2 ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆ ಕತಾರ್ ಗೇಮ್ ನೆನಪಿದ್ಯಾ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹೀರೋಯಿಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಗುರುಪ್ರೀತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಾಂಧು. I think 7 or 8 saves he did. ಅದು ನೆನಪಿದೆ. ಉದಾಂತ ಕುಟಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ won the game for us ಅದನ್ನ. ಸೊ ಆ ತರ if something such magical won't be happening in here because Japan is Japan. Those who follow women's football know what Japan is. So we are not even imagining that. What I'm trying to say is keep the GD as less as possible. Maybe 3-0 is very good score. Maybe 4-0 is acceptable. So keep it like that. So adadmele next match day we have Chinese Taipei. We can all take the calculator and start calculating how to win and do all those stuff. So what do you think? What is your
another thing? So we are in Group C and Group C matches happen then. So we will know what is required from us. So even with 2 losses, you would surely know what is required from us in the final match day. So that's one thing. And as you said, right, in men's football in Asian Cup, we are not playing the world's best, Alva. But here we are playing, right? The North Korea and Japan especially. I mean, even if you consider Australia, considering the last World Cup performance, at least at home, right? We are playing the world-class opponents. So to be honest, AFC Women's Asian Cup should be as hyped as the Euros, Women's Euros, or the Women's AFCON. That just happened, right? So because that's the quality that we have here. I understand there is 3+3 and then the rest of the teams, right? So that the top 3 are at a slightly higher quality, and then comes the China who win in big tournaments, but they're not as good as the top 3 teams, right? So and South Korea is also, like, if you say South Korea is some team, I think we can get a draw at our best day, but not Japan, Australia, or DPR Korea. So as you said, our target should be to limit the goals considered. I mean, I'm not being negative. That's the difference in quality between those top teams and us. So that's how it is. So yeah, I think that should be the target. As Shaggy said, if we get the win in the first game, I think we will surely qualify. So the confidence will surely be there for the Japan's game. And yeah, I think any loss is acceptable. As long as we qualify, we celebrate. That's the whole
yeah. Yeah, and one more thing, Andre, before first game, we have enough time and everything, as Shaggy was telling. How we plan is very important. And also, there are a lot of promises from AFF. They have, like, if you remember, there was a huge hue and cry about that. We need to give these girls their game time. We need to give these girls camp and everything. Just after 2 days, there is an announcement from AFF. Yeah, Shaggy was mentioning, it feels like it is a reactive. It is not an action that they wanted to take. They did not even plan the calendar thinking that we will qualify. If you remember, Thailand was planning for already Australia. They are planning for Australia during the qualifiers. Okay, so that's where Thailand were there. They thought that they are qualified. But ನಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಬಂದಾಗ we did not even had a calendar. What is our girls doing next year? But after the qualification, there is a lot of hue and cry on the media, and Akash Negi was talking, and also Arnav and everybody who are rigorously following Indian football. Everybody were talking, and there comes a post saying we will have 84 days camp. We will go to so many friendlies. This is where it feels like it is not believable because these just react. They don't plan. They just react. That's why it feels like if something happens in another month, they might drop all those plans. It is like that. It is always like that. So it is kind of what do you say? It's kind of not believable as of now. But we all hope that all these girls get their enough time with their squad and everything, and good amount of exposure tours and everything. And I don't want these girls to again go to South Korea. I mean Europe and everything, and play Asian teams because we are going to compete against them. Have good amount of competitive games. Don't go for the again like don't play Brazil or don't play Spain and all. Somehow if you get don't play, they are absolutely useless, right? Like doesn't make any difference because they will bang us 8. So it is no question about that. So somehow please, whoever is planning, I think I read somewhere saying we will be going to Europe and playing top nations. I personally feel we don't need that. Why do we need that? We are playing Chinese Taipei, Vietnam, possibly where we need to get the result. We need to prepare for those 2 games. It is not like we have to prepare for playing against Australia. I am damn sure if we start today and if till March we practice and we do everything possible, we can't beat Australia. It is impossible. the amount of difference is extraordinary. So we need to plan what is actually in our hand. So hopefully some sensors are there in the people who is planning women's team.
We will be
Yeah, yeah,
playing Bangladesh twice and Nepal twice. That's for sure. But the good thing is they are strong. The good thing is in women's football they are
yeah.
strong. So
They are
that
sure.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
that really
Bangladesh.
helps. That
Yeah,
really
yeah.
helps. So that really helps. But I think I don't know. They have they said that they're going to Europe?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think. Yeah, they did said. I think I read Marcus article or something. They will be playing top nations. What is that? Friendlies and everything. Not sure
yeah.
what they are going to do. Let us see.
This is it. I mean,
Okay.
we should be
Yeah.
playing like so maybe Philippines and Bangladesh. Obviously, we'll be playing, and in Uzbekistan we can play a few games, and maybe if we can get a chance playing the top Asian countries, which we missed doing in men's Asian
Yes.
Cup. We never played a friendly and all those stuff. So why not take a chance like play Japan or South Korea once? No, not Japan, South Korea or
Japan,
India.
they won't be playing, so
They
it's
will
not
not.
possible.
South
Yeah.
Korea and Australia and all kind of time. At least pre-tournament friendlies in Australia. Let's play some games. So we never get such
True, true, true.
opportunities otherwise. And another thing is that the good news is that AFC has restructured women's support structure and everything. Right? So going forward, there will be a lot of international games, good games, because Olympic qualifiers will be separate and women's Asian Cup qualifiers will be separate and all of those. So this is a good time. And adding to that, we also need to remember that there will be a 48 team World Cup. So if we are
Yes.
going to qualify for the World Cup this year, that means we should be qualifying every time going forward because the number of teams will increase, at least three more
Yes.
teams from
Yes.
Asia. Right. So it's the right time that we managed to qualify to Asian Cup. Let's hope we guys do
Yeah.
the need.
Yeah. About this, I have one a manager from China actually. So in my work, so I was just talking to her saying like there is a possibility of Indian women's football going to Brazil. I'm just saying there is a 1% possibility. If somehow that happens, I'll be going to Brazil. So then she started saying it's again from the women's team, and our men's team is as shambolic as yours. I just said. She was like, see, these two are the biggest nations with the population, and they can't even produce a good 11 members men's team. Same thing. She was also blabbering about this China men's football, shambolic men's team.
China women's football they do good stuff.
Yeah,
Right? I think
they
last
do have
final
They
they
do
good.
also
good.
Yeah,
play a lot of people. 200
yeah,
They're the
yeah.
past champions.
Yes, yes. Okay, so talking about this restructuring and improvements in women's football, no, in domestic as well, we have good amount of improvements, at least structurally. There are number of games again restricted. We need to improve that. I understand, but there is a kind of improvement that we are already able to see. Shaggy, I'll come to you on this. Okay, I am just not able to understand what BFC thinking. Like right now, we have IWL two, we have IWL, and also Asian Women's Football Champions League. Odisha last year, Odisha were participating. This year, East Bengal will be there. So there is a clean structure and what do you call a good amount of money as well in that. But what is BFC doing? It's been like 3 years in KWL, and we still have that squad who can't actually make it into the top half of the KWL. Do you think we should be changing strategy somewhere here because it's a right time now? We have a good structure as well to look forward. It is not like previously we don't have anything to fight for, but now we do have. There is a very good amount of money in the FC Champions League, if you remember. So, what do you think? Like, what do you think about this BFC approach to towards women's football?
So it's again a very patient approach, I would say. Look, when it comes to grassroots, right? And if we go back to how BS is traditionally approached footballs than other clubs, right? Like even in the men's game, we have always worked towards the grassroots. So I am not surprised that they have chosen this route. The point is they wanted somebody from who are going from the grassroots, okay? And if you look on year, okay, I'm not saying this year, but if you look on year, the players have grown. Like the Tanvi has gone and went to Odisha and come back. I think a couple of these players will start moving on because they are in the 16 to 18 block now, okay? Wherein you will start seeing because in player development, where are you exactly match ready for competitive, right? You go into the past 18, 19, and 20. Under 20, you start taking things very seriously. They're probably 1 or 2 years down. So you have to take a 5 year cycle for this. You can't take 2 year or 3 year cycle, especially when it comes to road. So 5 years is we need to give them. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is because they are subjected to now, if you look at it, even the KWL is suddenly become competitive. Out of the blue, now there are like,
Yes, yes,
I see
yes.
that yes, they don't have actually they. If you look at the way the teams are formed and the competition now, the KWL is competitive. Like you have 5 teams who are at competing. Like if you're watching those games, none of them is like up till Matra Pratishtana, who are a very decent team. Okay, I've seen them year on year. Last year they were phenomenal. This year they are also being struck back by Roots and Pass, because these all teams, you know, right? They're changing the personnel. Dalima Chibber is now a mental coach with Pass FC. I think I saw Jyoti Chauhan with Misaka. So, you know, somehow all of these national team players who were there earlier are flowing their talent or expertise inside Karnataka Women's League. And then somehow now what is happening is you actually have the quality level is just got little elevated. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's not bad as compared to IWL2 also. So we are somewhere just at IWL2 level in KWL. I won't say we are above IWL2. We are at that level in KWL where 4-5 teams can go and challenge IWL teams also. It's not that bad. So if I look at what BFC has to start thinking about is now, you know, how are you going to retain these players whom you are growing? Okay, in 2 years' time, you won't be able to retain them. Okay, definitely they'll be on radar of other clubs. I can definitely mark out like Aba, Tanvi, or Janani,
Chinmay.
who will start moving. Chinmay is there. Chinmay is like phenomenal. Chinmay year on year her growth is spectacular. Now she's like very confident. Earlier, like now you can see her dribbles are coming. Her she's able to move the ball quick, and she is quick. Okay, so there are certain things which I think we need to give them 2 years. When they get seasoned, probably our game time is way too pathetic for them to be called as this thing. But I did watch one competition, which was the community league, the final with Kemp.
Kickstart.
Okay, man, that was a
Okay, Kemp, yeah.
Kemp versus Kemp. That was a 7-a-side tournament. But that was a feisty affair. I'm seeing that the overall, if you ask me, Bengaluru wants to go their team in a very organic, way of giving them some duration of time, because I didn't see them bringing in too many seasoned pros. So I'm of the impression that they want to grow it from the grassroots. It has its challenges. So being patient is one thing, but I don't see it as a 3-year cycle. I see it as a 5-year cycle, wherein by the time these girls are 19, then we'll start talking about probably results. Until then, we have to watch them play a little bit of learning curve football, not expect too much out of them. At the same time, give them game time. But definitely improvement is there. Now, if you compare that with what's happening in Karnataka Women's League, then it's a different story, because Karnataka Women's League, I feel, is somehow this year I don't know what's happened, and I see a lot of IWL players, IWL2 players in all of the teams, and suddenly it's like boomed up. Like the two matches that I'm seeing, like it's all. Yesterday, the best match what I was seeing was Roots versus Pass FC. It was an all-out match, good match. So to answer short, maybe grassroots is this way. This is what you see as grassroots, the pain of grassroots, of seeing them grow from that start. So we can't say stop it, and we can't, it's the trouble of watching those kind of 7-1 results against Kickstart that I know Kickstart will immediately start putting videos of scoring goals against BFC. They won't just put 1 minute. Last time they had a video where it started immediately. 2 goals, they're putting everything on. This is the rank, because it's a feisty affair with Kickstart, right? They won't let any chance get away to show that they are the top team in Bengaluru football over BFC,
Bengaluru.
right? So
very true.
So rivalry is there. So it still hurts. We take it. At the same time, Kickstart's young players are showing up. Arushi and what is the other name? She played. She's become a fantastic player now for Karnataka football.
True.
It's a painful process.
I understand. And including me and a lot of fans, we have to acknowledge this, like saying that these girls, they actually started at very young age with BFC. So somehow, if they stay or not stay, maybe in a couple of years, it doesn't matter. They will be holding that BFC flag ever. So I think KWL is always been extremely competitive, and it is improving year on year. Best thing for that is like there are a lot of owners who are actually want to make difference at women's football. So that is obviously very good thing to have. So I think that is something beautiful. And coming to KWL, hopefully I'm planning to go tomorrow Sunday. We have a game at 4 p.m. A BFC game at 4 p.m. So
what jersey are you wearing?
No, I didn't. I still did not got that Kemp jersey. I hope that it will be delivered soon. I'll see that. Hopefully, I will go to their match as well. I need to go, because with so much grace they came onto our podcast, and we could able to understand their approach and everything. When I asked them, they did not say a second word. They were there. So I think definitely and also good thing is they are bringing the girls from Karnataka. Like they want owners clearly say that we want girls from Karnataka to play. Like somebody who is studying in government school, they have to play football. That is their intention. You understand? I don't know what is the result at. I do not even care about that, because intentions are very important. It will be fruitful someday. not maybe today, down the line 5 years it will be fruitful, and they will be seeing a lot of these government school girls coming to KWL, and somehow if they make it there and going to IWL and everything. So that is beautiful thing. That is a community. This is actually community, meaning of community. What our BFC is always wanting to or trying to do. This is actual community. You going to these like less privileged girls are going to government schools and giving them ball to play. That is something very beautiful. That's why I thought like this year I will be having one jersey from Kemp. That is the reason I ordered early. Hopefully I get it very soon and I will be finding it everywhere. Let's see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm planning
Yeah.
to buy also.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. And one good thing is like in this podcast, I think this is the last good thing we are talking. Next, whatever we are going to talk, everything is sad. So let's jump on to men's football. So men's football
Yeah. So before
presently,
we close that,
yeah,
just one
yeah,
closing
sure, sure.
point, right? Because I want to see
Yeah,
Kemp has one thing, and probably this will happen first time in Karnataka in football, that in IWL level we will have a proper Karnataka representation culturally. Okay, I'm talking about
yes,
cultural representation. Okay, not like I don't want to say others are not representing culturally, but this is a team which is representing the culture. Their T-shirt design, say their motto, their everything is something which is homegrown. It stands
yes,
out in that sense. So if in IWL2 we will watch that team, and that's what I was telling them, that they have a succession, like obviously whatever you said. In addition to that, you have to see that they are going to play IWL2, and that's going to be a phenomenal thing to watch for Karnataka football. That there will be a proper representation culturally, because in cultural context we need to also place football. Yeah, that's all.
very true. And one more thing I just want to add, it is not like a lot of clubs actually will be active during IWL or KWL, and they kind of don't operate during the off season. But camps are not like that. They go and play in Tamil Nadu. They go and play in Goa. Some of these junior tournaments and everything. It feels like it's an association who wants to operate for whole year and try to improve as much as possible in the women's football. That is something that we don't see. That's why like if people who follow women's football, they can definitely understand this. That we don't see this kind of what is that what is that very positive approach towards the women's football. That is very beautiful actually.
And one
Yeah.
last point, okay, look at the sponsors they have got on board.
Yes.
This is one of the
Yeah.
key things that people are missing out. Their ability to get sponsors. They got Sunpure. Okay, they got Sunpure on board.
Yes.
They already have a tie-ups with multiple. And when I was watching their board, so it's phenomenal that they are able to pull in sponsors. Nivea has been on board with them for
Yeah.
some time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
their ability to bring in sponsors is something which I don't see it in even in our IWL teams. Okay, some of the IWL teams are not able to, but they are able to do that pull, and that's phenomenal. According to me, they're making more business sense. They're more attached culturally to the footballing ecosystem within Karnataka, and they're speaking of the right things. They're doing the right things. The right steps. Which we don't see in the men's game. That is happening over here with a small. I would call not now a small club, but a very growing club like this.
Very true.
Probably right away from their social media to their business sense to their cultural attachment. So all football, they're bringing that ecosystem into picture where there is a business side, there is a federation side, there is a club side, and there is a fan side also. So I see only good things from Camp. So honestly,
Very true. Very true. And that's a beautiful name, Kemp FC. So yeah. Now let's jump on to this men's football. Before I get before I get into national team, finals were played against Manipur and West Bengal, two of the greatest age fraud associations. They always do age frauds in under 13, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21, everywhere. They will do age frauds everywhere. You name it, they will do. Talking to one of the coach, and he was showing me Manipur players actually have the birth certificates which is registered in 2021 saying that they are under 15. So it's extremely funny. I understand coming from 90s. I understand that in 90s we don't have a certificate and everything, but now 15 years means guys are who born in 2010. There is no chance that a government hospital or even a hospital hasn't given them a birth certificate. I don't agree on them. They I I just don't want to talk about that. But even our south teams like Kerala is doing hell amount of age fraud. It seems. I was
See,
extremely surprised and I was taken back by that, knowing that like, what man, there is a
yeah.
crazy amount of culture in Kerala about football, and they want to do age fraud. What is
What,
happening?
what, what structure is there in Kerala football? Let's be honest. What structure is there in youth football? There is literally nothing. I mean, the culture of football is there. The structure of football isn't there. They are producing players at the senior level, agreed. But how do you stop age fraud when you don't have a structure, when you do not have youth leagues, when you don't have a proper system at all? So, I mean,
this is gone beyond control. It has affected all our quality levels, all our quality that we see. We talk about grassroots, but where is the grassroots if we have age fraud? Okay, what is the
Yeah.
point of grassroots if you have age fraud, right? Like the question is, everybody is talking about grassroots, but nobody's talking about age fraud. And any people who know that age fraud is predominant, and the reason for age fraud is predominant is because we don't have stringent laws and punishment. I don't think we can control it because it's so rampant that it's just taken as second nature now. Like, it's just a second nature. Like, okay, that's one of the things that we have to address this. And address this, probably at least Karnataka trying to address it is just one part of the story. But we are just a small system within a bigger system,
Yeah.
right? And the other thing I was always recommending is that, at the youth, let's send these players abroad. Whoever is capable, don't stay in the league, go out, so that at least you come back with some quality rather than this whole business of age fraud